Now moving forward, secondary constriction and satellite. These two are new terms for you. Understand them very clearly. Let us see this structure of the chromosome. Here you can see that a chromosome has a centromere, but you can see here there is one more constriction present, one more small area is present. It seems like it is being pinched from this particular area, and then a small portion of chromosome is present here also. So we call these fixing points as constrictions. So each chromosomes has two chromatids which are joined at the centromere. So centromere is considered to be the primary constriction. Okay, primary constriction. And then along the length you can see another constriction towards one end. This is the secondary constriction. Okay, secondary constriction. What happens here in secondary constriction? The they they are also these secondary constriction can also be referred to as NOR, nucleolar organizer region, NOR. Their position is fixed for a particular chromosome, and they help in identification of a particular chromosome because this is very unique character for one particular type of chromosome. So to understand and recognize these um, chromosomes, it is very much needed that they have a unique characteristics, and secondary constriction serves the purpose of identifying the chromosomes based on these special characters. Another diagram for the secondary constriction you can see over here, and this here also the secondary constriction is seen, and after the secondary constriction the region of chromosome is called as satellite because it is small knob like chromosome coming out from the secondary constriction, so we call it as satellite. Clear? So this in these two diagrams you can clearly see the secondary constrictions and the satellite present. Okay, moving forward, the nucleosome model. See the nucleosome model, you have already studied the nucleosome model in class 10th. So see what happens inside the nucleus. There are chromosomes. Chromosomes are the condensed form of chromatids. How condensed? Let us start from nucleotides. If this is the nucleotide structure, the sugar phosphate backbone, all having nucleotides stacked one upon the other. These nitrogenous bases stacked upon the sugar phosphate backbone. They are showing a coiling structure, and this coiled structure is called as double helix of the DNA. Now this double helix of the DNA is wound round 8 histone proteins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, these 8 histone octamer are together, and then the DNA is for, wound round these histone proteins, and these are forming nucleosomes. The 8 histone proteins along with the DNA wound round it is the nucleosome. Okay, so what does a nucleosome has? It has a core protein. Core protein consists of histone octamer, that is 8 histone proteins, and what is wound round these octamers? The DNA. DNA is wrapped around around the what do you call the histone proteins octamer for 1.75 times. This you need to understand. It is wound round. The DNA is wound round the octamer for 1.75 times. Clear? The next important thing here is the solenoid model. See, after the nucleosome is again coiling into a coiled structure. These coiled structure are called as solenoid. It will be understood from this model. See here. This is the naked DNA level of uh, complexity. I have made this. So this is the naked DNA. When the naked DNA is wound around the histone protein, it is called as nucleosome. When these nucleosomes are appearing as beaded structures, they are called as chromatosomes. When these chromatosomes are again arranged in a this this manner, uh, whirl coiled manner, again they are called as solenoid. Further, this solenoid is also not the final coiling. The solenoid is again coiled into 30 nanometer fibers, and these fibers are appearing to be like this. Then again these 30 nm fibers are coiling to form chromatin, and chromatin in again condensing in the metaphase stage to form a perfect chromosome which we study. So a chromosome with a constriction, the primary constriction, which we call as centromere. So this is the level of complexity. Simplest, the DNA, then DNA wound around the octamer, histone octamer, called as nucleosome. That is, these octamers are arranged in a beaded structure, chromatosomes. They are further coiled in a spiral manner, solenoid. They are again, this solenoid is again coiled into fibrous form. These fibrous forms are condensing into chromatin further condensing into chromosomes. Clear? So this is the whole level of complexity where this model, the central model, is called as solenoid model. Okay, moving further. The supercoiling. See, understand this diagram. This is also a similar kind of thing to understand how it actually happens. The DNA coils, this is the DNA helix, and the DNA coils 1.75 times on the histone octamer. These histone octamers are appearing to be beaded structures, chromatosomes. These chromatosomes are arranging in a spiral manner. This is solenoid. These solenoids are again coiling into this kind of fibers, these coiled patterns. These coiled patterns or the chromatin fibers are again condensing into haphazard manner, condensing into these proper large entities called as chromosomes. Okay, now moving forward on one more important technique here, terminology, ideogram. See here you can see these are ideogram is created of human chromosomes. Humans have we are having 23 pairs of chromosomes. This is well known to you. So here what happens in an ideogram, what we have done, we ideogram is the diagrammatic arrangement of all the chromosomes which are present in an organism. Why this has been done? To arrange proper arrangement of the structures of the chromosomes on the basis of the structure of the chromosomes, size of the chromosomes. A proper arrangement of all the chromosomes present in an individual is being done, and such kind of representation is called as ideogram. So you can say that the ideogram is the arrangement of all the chromosomes of an organism. See, in this ideogram there are all 23 chromosomes. Okay, and how they are being arranged, you can see here the first chromosome here is the biggest, largest in size. Then they are actually decreasing in size. Then how the ideogram is being prepared here, for generally for making an ideogram, two things are considered. First is the length of the chromosomes, and the second thing is the position of the centromere. This is the actual picture, so it's not very clear. If you see any picture which is available in your book, if I can find it on your book or somewhere else, I'll show that picture also, and then you will understand that okay, this is the type of ideogram which can be created. You will be preparing this ideogram in the lab also. You have this practical very much there in the biotechnology. So what you will do, you will have to, we will provide you with the pictures of the metaphase chromosome, because here only the metaphase chromosome can be studied, because that is the most perfect kind of structure, most evolved kind of structure for a chromosome which can be studied. And then the metaphase chromosome, those pictures you will cut and arrange them, measure them and arrange them lengthwise in a decreasing order. One important point here to understand is till 22nd chromosome we are arranging them according to size, but the 23rd pair is the sex chromosome. So last one, the 23rd pair, is always the sex chromosome. This here the sex chromosome is XX. So this is an ideogram of a female. Okay, so it is having both the X chromosomes present. The shape of the Y chromosome is slightly different. That I'll show you further. Okay, so moving forward to the next here. See here, this another ideogram I need to show you. This is showing and Y chromosome also. Here, see, you can see that X chromosome is bigger than the Y chromosome. This is also an ideogram, and this ideogram is of a male individual, is of a human male. You can see the first chromosome is the largest: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. All are the chromosomes, but the last one is the sex chromosomes. Okay, the sex chromosomes here, the X and the Y. So this ideogram belongs to a human male. Okay, so here you can see the size difference. X chromosome is larger as compared to the Y chromosome. Clear? So compare it with the earlier ideogram which I have shown you. This ideogram belongs to a female individual because it has both the X chromosomes present. But here you can see one X and one Y. So in this ideogram belongs to a male. One more important thing I would like to tell you here about ideogram is this whole study of ideogram and preparation of ideogram is covered under karyotyping. The term karyotype refers to the group of characteristics which help in identifying a particular chromosome, uh, which may be belonging to a particular species. These features can be, as I told you here in this particular ideogram, we are using two characteristics: the size and the position of the centromere. So this is also a type of karyotype. Okay, so karyotypes can be based on different factors. So the karyotype which is based on two factors, that is the size of the chromosome and the position of the centromere, is called as ideogram. Okay, a karyotype is said to be asymmetric na. Okay, when there is a large difference in the length of the size of the first and the last chromosome. Can you see it? The first chromosome is this much large and the last chromosome 22nd is this small. So there is a large difference between the size of the first and the last chromosome when arranged in a descending order of size. So such kind of um, ideogram or karyotype is called as asymmetrical. Whereas if there is a very small difference in size between the longest and the smallest chromosome, it will be called as a symmetric one. Okay, and one important thing point to note down here is the karyotyping can only be done in the metaphase stage. Clear? And I have shown you these two diagrams for this ideogram. Remember the ideograms. So this is all for today's class. Here we complete the cell biology. This is all you have to study in the cell biology. The next chapter probably will be starting up with the cell divisions. Okay. So I'll be sharing the notes. Just go through the notes and start learning them. Prepare well for the tests. All the best.